Did you know that your gut is actually a house for 100 trillion bacteria, which is 10 times more than the number of cells in your entire body? What is the secret of keeping them happy? Fermented foods. Fermented foods have been consumed all over the world for more than 10,000 years, right from the kimchi of Korea to the kanji in India. And this proves that our ancestors definitely understood the importance of gut health much before science actually proved it. Did you know that it is suggested by science today that consuming fermented foods can increase the health of your gut microbiome by 25% in just a matter of few weeks? This will lead to better digestion and a very strong immunity. Today there is a huge talk going on about whether you should eat fermented foods or you should not eat fermented foods. What about all of that acidity or the bloating? Huge talk going on about whether you should eat fermented or that feeling full sensation that you get after consuming your fermented foods. What are those fermented foods that you're talking about? Your idlis, your dosas, your dhoklas, your uttappas, or maybe even a kanji? Let's understand that from civilizations and from generations, our ancestors have been using fermented foods to preserve the food. Now, say for example, as the environment starts getting a little hotter, starts getting a little warmer because of seasonal changes, preserving food becomes a little more difficult, and hence it becomes easier to preserve food when it is fermented. In the process of fermentation, certain organisms are created which make sure that the spoilage of this food is easily prevented. It is this fermented food, if prepared in the right way, if used in the right way, and if eaten in the right quantity, can bring a phenomenal difference to your gut health, to your entire well-being. Let's understand this a little more. Today, a lot of people feel that eating South Indian dishes, whether it is in the north or whether it is in the south, will bring you certain bloating, or it will bring you certain acidity, or it will lead to constipation or fullness in your stomach and just not feeling right. Some of you may also feel that it is extremely high on carbs and you should avoid this kind of food. But let me tell you, this is the food that generations have been consuming, and if it is not suiting you, don't blame the food. Let's blame your weak digestive system. Fix your weak digesting system, fix your gut microbiome, and then talk about these foods. Today, it has become a very common practice to blame what is naturally available as your staple diet since your generations and what your ancestors have been consuming, but you tend to get a little more inclined towards the greener pastures on the other side. So you may prefer a kombucha, or you may prefer all those exotic fruits or exotic foods that are available outside, but you try to switch from the staple diet of your own region, of your own ancestors, what you are genetically made of. Instead of calling your grass greener on the other side, why don't we focus on creating our own green grass by making sure that we have our own green pastures? Focus back on your staple diet that has always been in your region, in your ancestral wisdom. If somebody has a gut health issue, if the person is feeling acidity, or if the person is feeling bloating, or if the person is feeling any symptom of an acid reflux, or even a leaky gut syndrome, the immediate reaction is to go and pop a medicine, pop a pill that is going to treat the symptom, but it is never going to take care of the real root cause. Today, we have a lot of vegans who are talking about B12 deficiencies, and we also have non-vegetarians talking about B12 deficiencies. So let's understand, where do you get the best B12 from? You will get a rich source of B12 from the fermented foods. But if your gut is not right, if your gut microbiome is not right, then there is no point. You will not be able to get the right synthesis of B12 into your body. What is required to set your gut right? 1. Lifestyle changes. 2. Your dietary changes. Your fermented foods are going to give you a high amount of B12. Your fermented foods are also going to give you a small amount of protein, which is required for the synthesis in your gut. It is going to give you folic acid. It is going to give you vitamin K, Let's understand that our fermented foods is pre-digested and it has something called as a lactobacilli, which is extremely helpful for your gut. It is this that also has certain antibiotic or anti-carcinogenic properties that keep you away from a number of diseases. Before you blame those carbs into your fermented foods, let's try and understand that your fermented foods, if taken in the right combination, in the right way, are going to definitely help you. But we don't follow the right way, nor do we follow the right combination today. So traditionally, your dosa was always supposed to be with a chutney or with a sambar so that your carbs match with your lentils and then it becomes a complete protein for you. Also, the coconut chutney was making sure that you have the right amount of fat into it. Today, we encourage our children to have dosas with just a bit of honey or with a little bit of sugar over it, or maybe just with a pickle or anything that you get around. That is not the right combination. And when the right combination does not enter inside your body, your gut microbiome does not feel right. It does not get balanced. Traditionally, the food has been designed with the right combination. So when you take a rice, it is combined with your lentils and that makes sure that it becomes a complete protein. You get all of the essential amino acids. Also, the chutney that you make with your idlis, etc., will have some fenugreek into it. It will have coconut into it. That fenugreek is going to make sure that it gives you the right warmth. It also ensures better digestion. It takes care of balancing the phytic acid and also balancing the sugar levels into your body. Unfortunately today, human wisdom is now being compromised and is now getting manipulated with human stupidity. And why do I say so? We love our idlis and dosas, but we love it on the stalls outside where you get those idlis and dosas with a nice topping of sauces, which is also called Szechuan dosa. All of those bottled spices, the chocolate dosas and the paneer dosas and the Szechuan dosas and the extra sauces over it is not going to give you the right nutrition. It's only going to make sure that your gut microbiome is further imbalanced. What is good for your taste is not always good for your gut. Traditionally, all the dosas were not made with heaps and heaps of oil over it. We used to make dosas with very minimum oil, or most often than not, the South Indians would make it on a cast iron tawa, and which would probably just be covered and steamed. It would not even be using oil. But today we have forgotten the right way of preparation. Even your idlis are no more just steamed. We like to fry them and deep fry them, add some sauces over it, add a lot of spices over it and make it tasty to our palate, which is not necessarily the best thing for your gut. So to eat a healthy food like a fermented food of an idli and dosa with all of those dirt onto it or with all of those junk onto it, then that is not going to help you, dear friends. Your human wisdom says that we have our gut which has bacteria of two types. One is the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. So this good bacteria requires some amount of food and the bad bacteria craves for the wrong kind of food. So the more the wrong kind of food that you give to your gut, your bad bacteria is going to be fed well. The number of bad bacteria will increase, good bacteria will decrease, and in effect you are losing the balance of your gut microbiome. This is a classic state which is also called dysbiosis. And when your gut microbiome is perfectly imbalanced, what happens? In this effect, you are going to crave for those kind of food which your body is only going to feed for the bad bacteria. So when the number of bad bacteria is going to increase, it is going to crave for sugar. It is going to crave for those refined carbs. It's going to crave for all of those spices and the junk and the bottled sauces that you get in the market, because that's what your bad bacteria really require to flourish. So any of you having cravings for such kind of food, be rest assured that your gut microbiome is definitely imbalanced. This imbalance of your gut microbiome also makes sure that whatever that you are consuming is going to go inside your body as nutrition, but not necessary that all of it will be absorbed. The absorption capability or the assimilation capability of the nutrients definitely reduces when you have a gut microbiome imbalance. Let's look at the Indian fermentation process of pickles. Traditionally, all our dadis and nannies and mothers have made pickles, and these pickles have been using the right amount of oil, the right kind of oil, the right kind of salt, and the best of the preparation methods. Today, we believe in instant pickles that we get in the market, or instant pickles that can be just mixed with a few spices to give you a beautiful taste on your palate, but that's not the fermentation process. Traditionally, all of the pickles were made in rock salt or they were made in black salt. Today, we prefer to make it in our refined salt. Today's pickles are floating in oil, absolutely floating in oil, and that's not the quantity of oils our traditional pickles were made in. And what is the kind of oil that we are using today? The refined oil. We are giving it trans fat. We are making sure that we are heading towards diseases by eating something that was traditionally the best of food to heal your gut. It is important to use the right salt. It is important to use the right quantity of oil. It is important to use the right quality of oil. And also consume it in the right proportion. No overeating was done before. It was just taken a little bit into the traditional Indian thali. These traditional Indian pickles, if used in the right way or if prepared in the right way, will never increase your BP. They will never give you weight issues. Did you know that the right bacteria helps you synthesize omega-3? Let me suggest a very easy probiotic for you. If you have some leftover rice, keep it overnight into a clay pot with some water added to it. Cover it, keep it overnight, and the next morning simply add a little bit of pickle or maybe give a tempering of little bit of jeera, little bit of mirchi, little bit of kadi patta, which is your curry leaves, and this tempering is going to mix with the rice and you can have it in the morning. Eat the rice with the water and the tempering that you have added or the traditionally made pickle, and trust me, this is excellent to heal your gut. It has the power to change your gut microbiome in just a few weeks. This fermentation process in any of those fermented foods, whether it is your idli or a dosa or your uttappa or it is your sauerkraut or it is your kimchi or it is your kombucha, all of these are essentially pre-digested, which means when they go inside your body has to work a little less on digesting them. And hence the absorption is better, assimilation is better, and you get the right amount of nutrition out of it. Did you know that 90% of serotonin, which is required for your mental health, is produced in your gut? And this gut requires fermented food for you. So when you have your kefir or when you have your sauerkraut or when you have any traditionally fermented food, it makes sure that the serotonin is produced right, which makes sure that your mental health is also right. This fermentation is important for your brain function. It is also important for your red blood cell production. Did you know that a regular consumption of fermented foods is linked to a 30% reduction in cardiovascular diseases or even insulin resistance like issues? Which means your diabetes is very much kept in check. Every culture across the globe has its own fermentation culture. So whether it is the kimchi of the Koreans or it is the miso of the Japanese, it is the kanji of Indians or it is the kombucha and sauerkraut of the Europeans, all of this is ensuring that there is good optimal gut health and longevity. So it's high time to go back to your fermentation processes. Ask your mothers, ask your grandparents on what kind of food that they prepared when it came to fermentation. When you bring them on into your plates in your house, in just a few weeks, you will start noticing a change in your energy levels, a change in your vitality, a change in your balance, a change in your overall well-being. And that is something that your body is definitely going to thank you for. I hope this was useful. If you have loved the content, please like, share and subscribe. I look forward to hearing your comments and I would definitely reply to each one of them personally. Till we meet again in another video, Namaste.